Let's talk about the types of people that you might want to have on a team or the type of team you want to have when you start your business or running your business on a day-to-day basis. Hi, I'm Charly, your online business manager. My goal is to assist small to medium business owners build their businesses with a focus on using the internet and online technologies in an appropriate and cost-effective manner. People hire me to take the stress out of managing their businesses and allowing themselves to focus on what they do best. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Okay, so let's have a talk about the sorts of teams or the sorts of people you might want to have on your team. Well, let me start first of all with saying, I know it's really, really difficult. You start your business, it's just you. You're really stretching to bring every dollar in to cover your expenses, to pay yourself, to be able to live. And you don't want to be working to pay other people. But sometimes having that team behind you will allow you to grow your business more quickly and more sustainably. That's a really good thought to take into this. There's a couple of people that I think you need to have on your team straight up without even thinking about it. And the first is an accountant. If you are starting a business, you really should go and get yourself an accountant. As a small business, you will, a small or a solo operator, you'll need to hunt around a little to find a accountant that is focused on the type of business that you run, not your type of business, on a smaller business. They normally have rates that are more conducive to small businesses starting up. But I tell you, for me, having an accountant has been a godsend. They've been able to help me sort out how I need to structure things for my taxes, make sure that I am paying the right tax at the right time. And in general, when I've wanted to make changes within the business, I've been able to go to them and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? How would you do it? Not what do you think in terms of a business idea? Is this a great idea? Although they so often have some really interesting feedback on that, valuable feedback on that. But they can actually give me an idea of how I need to structure the business to make sure that I'm doing the right thing by the government, by my customers, by myself. Very, very important. The second one that you might consider bringing on is a bookkeeper. If you are bringing money in and paying money out, it's really important that you know where things are going and when you need to pay things. And bookkeeping can take up a lot of time for a business owner. There are tools available like Xero as your accounting system. I moved to Xero about this time last year, actually. And it was the best thing I ever did. But I still need my accountant and my bookkeeper to help me tidy up a few things in there. It certainly alleviated the need for a full-time bookkeeper, but I still do need them. So they're the first two people that I would think as a business owner you should consider having uh, in your contact list, just as I need to get some advice. Not to use them on a day-to-day basis, not to just drop the one-off questions to. You do need to think about how to engage with them because they're businesses as well and they will charge you for that. But they are a good one to have when you have the questions that you are going to have. I know that sounds like a bit of a Dr. Seuss type saying, doesn't it? Okay, so business owners, accountants and bookkeepers. The other thing I think you should look at is where your weaknesses are and where you need support. One of the things I come across, and I do like my business, apart from being business management, I work on the technology side of businesses. I help with websites, I help with emails, I help keep all of those systems running and people aware of what's going on and give training in it. If technology is something that you find leaves you cold, you find is just baffling and you're not sure what to do, if you're looking at all these words on the pages where you go to sign up for something and you're not sure what they mean, you need to have a tech person that you can go to, and not a low-level tech person, someone, I'm sorry, like me. And there's more than just me around. There are others that do what I do, that you can say, okay, I'm looking at doing this. Should I do it? And get some advice from them, and then perhaps even get them to do it for you. Now, one of the things I will do as a technology person when someone comes to me and says, I want to purchase this product, one of the first questions I'll ask is, what is it you're trying to do? What will this product do for you that you don't think anything else you have is doing, or anything else you've seen will do for you? That's one of the first questions that we'll ask. And, from there, we can have a really good conversation about what it is you're trying to achieve. And generally, I can save you a few dollars just by coming up with a slightly cleverer way of doing things, or knowing what else is out there, because I keep across all of that. So having a tech person that you can go and talk to about what you need within your business is really useful. The last one that I'm going to talk about is a virtual assistant. Now, virtual assistants can do a whole heap of things, as I'm sure we've seen showcased in any number of podcasts and in any number of articles out there. So I'm talking about an admin assistant, someone who works virtually but gives you admin support. I have a virtual assistant. In fact, I have a couple who work with me now. They work as a team and share the work out between themselves, so I don't have to do that. That was their decision to work that way. They came to me and said, oh, we want to work together. I'm like, yep, perfect, let's do that. But they answer my phones. When my phone rings, if I don't get to it, because it will ring for me first, and if I don't get to it, it will divert, and it diverts through my virtual PBX, my virtual phone system. It rings on their computers or their phones and says it's coming in from one of from my group, and they'll answer it and they'll take the call, and they'll try to address the issues that are coming up, or they'll take messages and get them to me through our own little team messaging system. So phone calls being answered is a great one for me. So it doesn't distract me from what I'm working on at the time, but the person who's ringing in can feel that they've been looked after, they've been cared for. So phones, an admin VA, phones is one thing they do. Checking my email and making sure that I've seen the urgent emails that have come through, or the important emails that have come through. Sometimes I will forward them an email and say, could you deal with this for me? Book a time, see what, dig down a little, get a little bit more information. As my podcasts grow, they're going to help me book guests. They're going to get me booked as a guest on podcasts as well. It's just that all that admin stuff that happens in the background that honestly I'm terrible at. Remember what I was saying about you play to your strengths? I'm terrible at doing my admin work. It's something that I would prefer to get in and look at what a server is doing, or look at what a challenge that one of my clients is having in terms of running their business, and deal with that, than I would in doing my own admin. I'm well aware that this is a failing. Well, it's just a weakness of mine. So rather than trying to spend time and spend more time on that than they do, I get them to do it and pay them. Honestly, it's a fraction. It costs me a fraction of what it would cost me to pay them to do it than what it could cost me to do it myself. So there's some people that you should probably have on your team, even if it's just a small informal team where you all agree that you're going to help each other out. And yep, so you'll get an invoice from Joe, and you might invoice Peter, and Sally might invoice Joe. So you've got this little circle of things going on, but you're all there to support each other, and you're all this little informal team that works together to help your business become successful. The other thing that does for you is it doesn't make you feel, well, helps you feel that you aren't alone out there, that you aren't just sitting there at your computer, answering the phone, typing up documents all day. You have a bit of a water cooler. You can set up a little chat group, and you can have a little bit of a water cooler. And if something's really bugging you, you can drop it in there and say, oh, yeah, this happened and I just need to vent a little. And, you'll get some sympathy, some empathy, and sometimes you'll get some hard truth too. Some hard love in terms of, well, that's just the way it is, and you're just going to have to suck that up and deal with it, because sometimes we need to hear that as well. So what I'd really like to hear from you guys about this week is, who do you have on your team? Where did you find them? How do you work together? And what, let me give me the pros and the cons for doing it that way. What did work and what didn't work, and why? I'd also like to remind you to like this video, subscribe to my channels, and ring the notification bell so you get told when I drop more content. Have a great week.